so clumsy. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Go back to sleep. Miss, seat table?
You know, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. Did you know that?
Well, happy birthday. You know, I was just thinking you don't look a day over 25.
Liar. I don't know. I've just been feeling very stuck lately. You know, I cannot remember the last time I was surprised by anything. Can you?
The last time I was surprised was by you. Well, you know what I mean. I'm just surprised that we're able to stay good friends.
I've been thinking about moving. Maybe Phoenix. I've got an old college friend that lives down there, and she says it's nice. I think the change would do me good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you'll love it down there, 'cause there's square dancing and 10-gallon hats and armadillo hunting.
And macho yokels with names like Tex.
Okay, that's yours.
So tell me, what do you think? You think I should go or not?
Well, you know, Arizona may seem like a much more exciting place than San Francisco, but it's dangerous down there. At least around here, you got your friends checking out for you.
It's dangerous everywhere. I mean, especially here. I mean, did you hear about that co-ed? Someone murdered her in her own bedroom.
I didn't hear about that. Who killed her?
Well, the newspaper said it might be a serial killer. They gave him some kind of crazy name. I don't know. I can't remember what they called him.
Well, doesn't that stuff scare you? I mean, I'm a tough guy, and it scares me.
I appreciate your concern, Tex, but I have been fine on my own for a long time. Looks like the rain's letting up. I'm going home.
Got a big date?
Oh, yeah. Cary Grant and a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Hold me down. See you later.
What a schmuck.
What?
Chelsea was giving you opportunities all evening and you blew every one of them. The son PI you are. Well, you wouldn't know a clue if it walked up and punched you in the face.
Listen, all I know is, every time I try and ask her out, she turns me down.
It's from the distinguished gentleman in the corner.
You bought me a drink?
He bought you a bourbon.
Oh, good evening, good evening. Gordon Fitzpatrick is my name. Please sit down, sir. You know, I am not in the habit of eavesdropping, but I do believe I heard someone say that you were a private detective.
That's right. I'm a licensed private investigator.
Oh, delightful. It's a pleasure indeed to meet you, and your name?
Murphy. Tex Murphy.
Tex Murphy. Well. This is fine. Now listen, let me ask you this, Mr. Tex Murphy. Have you in your work ever had the occasion to seek for a missing person?
Sure. I can do that.
Well, then perhaps we could do some business.
I think we can work something out. My office is just around the corner, the Ritz Hotel.
Why don't we go there? I like your office. Oh, yes, the ambiance is very authentic. Reminds me of those, those old detective stories that I used to watch when I was a kid. I'm sure that at any moment, Sam Spade is going to come marching through that door, but then who needs Sam Spade when I've got Tex Murphy standing in front of me? Did you always want to be a private eye?
As far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you have a seat, Mr.
Thank you.
Fitzpatrick? Yeah? While all the other kids were logged on to Sesame Street Interactive, I was reading Hammett and Chandler.
It must be quite an exciting life.
Oh, it's got its moments. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the movies. It sure as hell doesn't pay very well. But it suits me. So what can I do for you, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Well, I'm trying to find an old acquaintance of mine, Thomas Malloy, Dr. Thomas Malloy. The last official address for him that I have is the Ritz Hotel. Now, do you happen to know him?
Can't say that I do.
Well, it's very important that I find him. You know, let me give you a little background. For many years, I was a research scientist and I worked alongside Dr. Malloy. But about 20 years ago, maybe, I guess something like that, our paths diverged and I lost touch with him, and he with me. And then very recently, I saw a photograph of him in a local newspaper. Now, it's a strange thing how time is such a natural equalizer, makes us appreciate the faces from one's past. At any rate, the older gentleman in that photograph is Dr. Malloy. And I contacted the newspaper to find out where the photograph had been taken. It was at the San Francisco Technical University. Well, I hiked right out there, got to the campus, and decided to look the man up and surprise him. Even with that photograph, no one recognized him, no one knew his name. But then I received a strange phone call from a young woman named Sandra. The man I knew as Thomas Malloy, she knew as Tyson Matthews. She seemed quite uncomfortable talking on the vid phone, so I suggested we meet. She never showed up for that appointment.
You never heard from her again?
You know, it's strange. But this simple, whimsical wish of mine to get together with my old friend has materialized into, I feel a sense of impending doom. I fear for the young woman, and I fear for my friend, Dr. Malloy.
It sounds interesting. I think I can look into this for you.
Thank you. Now, you'll have to refresh my memory. How much is your fee? How does it work?
I charge $500 a day.
Of course.
Plus expenses.
Naturally. There, that should be enough to get you started. And here somewhere, there you go. I can be reached at that number.
I'll be in touch.
I feel we're off to a good start.
All right, Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is the first cash I've had in months. $4,000. I owe Louis $200, and Rook says I owe him $300. But there should be plenty left over. Yes, sir. Things are definitely looking up. Fitzpatrick didn't give me much to go on. Just the newspaper photo of Malloy and the fact that Malloy stayed here at the Ritz. Then there's that girl Fitzpatrick referred to, Sandra. Maybe I can track her down. First I need to find out which apartment Malloy was staying in and then get into it. That means I gotta deal with Nilo, my landlord. It's the second week of April and I'm a little late on my February rent payment. So Fitzpatrick's staying at the Savoy. Guess I can call him on my vid phone if I need to talk with him. My trusty electronic shop credit card. The only way to go when you're out of cash. I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else in my bedroom. Yeah, fat chance of that. It's my own little attempt at creative horticulture. Space Girl Doris. With your own form-fitting airsuit and come-hither smile, I still dream of you and a lunar landing. My parents found this in the attic and sent it to me. I remember the pastoral days of my early youth, riding on my trusty Mount Striper, chasing bank robbers and horse thieves. And all that came to an end one summer afternoon during an electrical storm. The lightning struck a transformer near our home, creating a tremendous power surge. It was after the accident that my brothers and sisters started calling me Tex. Whenever I asked them, they'd just laugh and wink at each other. I never did find out about that nickname. The downy fresh hub of my swinging bachelor pad. I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else. This is where I keep the elixirs and potions that help me maintain my boyish good looks. I had to pick up this Playbub issue. Had an interview with my favorite author, what's his name? I'm currently reading The Maltese Fruitcake. The family's been passing it around for years. This door leads downstairs. This is where I shave my face once a month, come rain or shine. Amazingly enough, this space-age cabinet came folded into a packet the size of a Triscuit. This is the certificate and a copy of the check the Mutant League gave me after my last case. I used the cash to expand my office, buy some furniture, and pay off my debts. That left me with $4.12. That's the way back to my office. This door connects to my rec room. I cut this article about Mac Malden out of the newspaper. Gives me a good chuckle. I cut this thing out of the paper a few days ago. I've known Mac Malden for years. We've worked together on several cases, but I don't know if we're actually friends. We just help each other out occasionally. That's the only computer in the office that works. This barbell would provide a great workout if it weren't so darn heavy. I call this painting Bleak Landscape. This photo was taken at the last family reunion I attended. God, has it really been 18 years? That's the way back. This hot plate will come in handy if I eat anything other than saltines and dog food again. The guy who sold me this said it just might be an unsigned Picasso. It better be, because I paid $30. Taco Bob. It's got the most stylish placemats in town. Eat the rich dog food. A little gamey, but not bad for the price. I've had this jackknife ever since my Weeblos days. My knife used to have all the cool attachments. Now everything's busted off except the pliers and the standard screwdriver head. The scanner brings back some truly fond memories. Wonder how Trixie's doing. These drawers contain more worthless stuff than a Walmart bargain bin. These drawers contain... The 60-day warranty just ran out on my electronic shop fax machine. Should break down any minute now. Rusty the Clown's Fun Book. The only pop-up book in existence with a must-be 18 years or older sticker. This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her 25th birthday. Yeah, she was gorgeous. Makes me wonder sometimes why we couldn't make it work. My new vid phone is essential to my business. Thank goodness it's easy to operate. That's a New York Times bestseller, Men Are Imbeciles, Women Are Erratic. My mom sent this to help me with my love life. I've read the first chapter and I think the author's a hermaphrodite. I borrowed this magazine on my last trip to the dentist. I've always been crazy for the Miracle Nails model. Guilty as Heck, the gripping saga of Lance Knight, the soft-boiled PI. I really need to find some stuff to put in here. Another can of Eat the Rich dog food. Well, at least I'll never starve. I really need to find... It's taken me years to fill up these drawers. This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her 20... This thing sure beats my old desk. I really need to find some stuff. These drawers are the holding area for stuff that's about to be tossed out in the trash. I really need... Another bill from the electronics shop. I can't believe they expect me to pay for the junk they sell. This baby's brand new. I had to replace the old one after the, incident. Lord, what a horrible memory. I haven't played my phonograph since it destroyed the A-side on my Bill Shatner Sings the Blues LP. I got this from my grandpa, Audie Murphy. It was signed by Richie Havens. Grandpa said he was the original singing detective. This painting always reminds me of something. I'm not sure what. This office was a dance studio before I moved in. The credenza's not that attractive, but it sure beats the unsightly stain hiding underneath. This is my official front door. It leads to the fire escape. I should probably stop by the newsstand and see if Chelsea's upset with me about last night. I've been trying to get her to go out with me for years now, and just when I think I might be getting somewhere, I stick my big foot in my mouth. Well, now I got some money, and maybe she'll give me another chance to let me take her out to dinner.
Hi, Tex.
Hey, I'm sorry about last night.
Is that so? Why?
Playing hard to get, huh? Okay, I'll play your little game.
I'm not in the mood, Tex. You know, this is not a game to me. I have a lot of big decisions to make, and maybe I need to get away to make them.
Hey, everybody needs some space sometimes. Go if you have to, but I'll be waiting when you get back.
Thanks, Tex. I'll keep that in mind. So what's up?
Well, I got a bunch of cash, but I got nothing to do with it. I figured I'd go out to dinner tonight, but I hate to eat alone. Are you interested?
What, like a date?
Well, sure, dinner, a movie, maybe a trip up to my swinging bachelor pad for some strip parcheesi.
Look, I know you're just trying to be nice.
Oh, come on, go out with me. I'll even take a shower.
I'm just not in the mood to go out.
No, it'd be more like two friends having a great meal and maybe some stimulating conversation.
I guess that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be all right. You know, Tex, I haven't really been myself lately, and I really appreciate you looking out for me.
Hey, this is going to be my pleasure. So what are you in the mood for? I heard Weenie World put tater tots on the menu.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you let me make you dinner at my place? It's cheaper than going out. And besides, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Let's say 8 o'clock?
Well, you talked me into it, Miss Bando.
Oh, I feel so spoiled.
By the way, what should I bring, red or white?
You better bring both.
Finally. After years of relentless pursuit, Chelsea's inviting me over to her apartment for dinner. Oh man, the possibilities are making me woozy. Okay, snap out of it, Murphy, and let's get back to work here. Maybe I should head over to the Ritz and see if Nilo's at the front desk. I'm sure he'll be happy to see me.
Hold it right there, you sneaking piece of slop.
Calm down, Nilo. I'm not going anywhere.
Damn straight you ain't. Where's my money? You owe me 3 months back rent, pukehead. Come strolling in here like some kind of sunbeam from heaven. Cough it up. Ah, that's more like it.
Now maybe you can answer a few questions for me.
No comprendi. Yeah. That's better, amigo. Never heard of him. I ain't familiar with that name. Nope.
Recognize the man in this photo?
Yeah, I seen him before.
What can you tell me about it?
He used to stay here. Gone now.
Which room did he stay in?
Hey,
What name did he use when he signed in?
Matthews. Tyson Matthews.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. P-Brand. We only stayed here a couple of weeks. Paid up front for 2 months. But he's too late to get a refund. What are you asking about me for? Want to ask me out on a date? Never heard of him. Ah, nicest guy on the street. Me and him, we talk the same language. I'd like to wipe the smile off that fat guy's face, but he ain't a bad cook. I got a few things I'd like to teach that Chelsea, if you know what I mean. Look, as long as you pay the rent, I don't care if you're the Queen of freaking England.
Apartment A is through the door by Nilo's desk and up the stairs. Nilo's had a hard time keeping tenants, so Malloy was probably the last person to stay in the room. Hopefully I'll find a lead once I get inside. Nilo hasn't had this vending machine stocked since I moved in. It probably cost money. Sheesh. This sandwich is about as fresh as Nilo's undershirt. The vid phone's busted, but Nilo won't put an out-of-order sign on it. That'd just cut into his profits. This mail drop box adds a nostalgic touch to the lobby. This piece of notebook paper looks like it's been used for a coaster. It looks like Nilo's in for a busy and productive day. So, this is where Malloy stayed. The beginning of the trail. What a scumbag. Nilo knew I couldn't get into the apartment without the code. Now he'll probably want to charge me a few $100 for it. At this rate, I'm gonna be broke again in a hurry. Nilo is undisputed proof that...
What do you want? I'm busy here.
There's something I forgot to ask you. I figure I paid you enough already, so you owe me.
Well, you figured wrong. You're off by about $500.
Come on, Nilo. You've cleaned me out already. I haven't even got enough money left to buy food.
Oh, boo-hoo. Here, let me give you some back. Ah, you didn't say the magic word. What a sap. So, what do you want to know? How to spot a sucker a mile away? Sucker a mile away, I like that.
Nilo looks around like he's about to sell some government secret and then lets me take a peek in his special notebook. The code is 4827. My head feels like it's full of molasses. Yeah, another swell case for San Francisco's favorite punching bag. I suppose the fact that someone knocked me out must mean I'm on the right track. Whoever hit me did a thorough job. Must have interrupted his search of the apartment. Maybe that means he overlooked something. That drafting table must be 70 years old. Look at all those drawers. Look. It's an old photograph. Look. Look. Envelope. Whoever wrote this has worse penmanship than I do. Either that or it's written in some weird language. Look at it. Yeah, it looks like a business card. This warehouse is just down the street from the Ritz. I shudder to think about all the butts that have sat in that cushion through the ages. Damn, no spare change under here. Looks like Malloy made a special llama pal back in his younger days. The label on the box says it was shipped from Mexico. Airport of the Gods. My Uncle Marty owned a whole series of these books. Go-Karts of the Gods, Lunch of the Gods. I loved this book when I was a kid. Aliens, spaceships, mysterious structures. Then I grew up and realized it was all a load of crap. Man, what's this? Looks like a scarf. Ooh, this scarf reeks of cheap perfume. I guess Malloy must have had a lady friend in for a visit. And if the lady friend wore this scarf anywhere else in the neighborhood, she'd be pretty hard to forget. Maybe I should show this thing around and see what I can find out. No play, bub. I never look at these personally, but I do remember this one. It was the Amazon Woman edition featuring 37 pages of full-color pictures. Nice. This bed looks hard enough to tap dance on. These boxes are empty. Wonder what they're doing here. Looks like a letter. I wonder who this David Wright is. And more importantly, if Malloy's been to his cabin in Oregon. Now there's no lock on the drawer. This looks like a pawn ticket of some kind. Looks like Rook did some business with Mr. Malloy. I wonder if Rook could let me redeem this receipt. Who am I kidding? He'll do anything if the price is right. Whoever furnished the Ritz must have bought credenzas in bulk. An old rusty hot plate. The luxury of hotel living. That door leads back to the hallway. Oh man, Chelsea's gonna kill me. I didn't realize how long I was out. God, almost 16 hours. I was out cold straight through our dinner date. She is never gonna believe me. I fly my speeder to the Four Gables apartment building where Chelsea lives. Luckily, or maybe not, she doesn't answer the door. For the time being, I can save my groveling apology for later and go back to working on my case. Rook's been running his pawn shop since sometime before the Eisenhower administration. He's a crusty, mean-spirited little troll who's rumored to have a heart of gold. Yeah, sure. He lets me buy things on credit occasionally, but then he nags me ruthlessly until I pay up. We get along all right, as long as I keep my bills settled.
Up already, Murphy? And it isn't even lunchtime yet. Or am I still asleep? Having a horrible nightmare.
Here you go, Shorty. I told you I'd pay you back as soon as I got a case, didn't I?
Well, let's pop the champagne and have a parade. Murphy paid me back.
I'd love to drink some bubbly with you, Rook, but I'm pretty busy with the case. That's another reason why I stopped by.
Ordinarily, Murphy, I'd tell you what to do with your irritating questions. But after all, you did pay me back. I suppose I can spare you a few moments. Never heard the name in my life. Of course I've heard about it. I just doubt I know any more about it than you. How should I know who that is? Never heard the name in my life. I've seen this man before. He came into my pawn shop several weeks ago and pawned an item. If you want to find out what he pawned, I suggest you find him and ask him. The man in your photo told me his name was Tyson Matthews. Nilo's run the Ritz for years. He's a pig. But at least he pays cash when he buys something from me. No. Next question. You know enough about me. Louis is a good man. He seems to like you quite a bit. I can't figure out for the life of me why. Oh, Chelsea. If I were a younger man, you wouldn't have a chance with her. I'll admit you have some skills as a PI. It's your social skills that need desperate help.
The only thing in this neighborhood that's tackier than that marquee is Clint's toupee. The Fuchsia Flamingo certainly has the nicest doors on the street. I guess this letter didn't quite make it into the mailbox. Uh-oh. Moral dilemma. To mail or not to mail? That is the question. I may regret this the next time I'm eating dog food for breakfast, but right now it feels pretty good. David Wright's cabin is out in the middle of nowhere. The place appears to be totally abandoned. The door's unlocked, but as soon as I step inside, I sense something wrong. Like I'm just about to open a carton of milk that's been sitting out in the sun too long. Interesting. I bet this'll run on my computer back at the office. Interesting. Well, someone must have been here regularly because no one would have live plants if they weren't going to take care of them. These plants are so dried up, they must have been dead for a while. Whoever came through here to straighten up missed the lamp. These pieces of paper are wrinkled, as if they were wet at some time. These pieces of... Those big red spots look like blood splatters. Bookcase doors. Interesting. These books look like they've been tossed around, like somebody was rifling through them. Bookcase. Book. Nice supply of firewood. That's an interesting picture. Some sort of ancient temple. Fireplace tools are scattered all over the floor. The rag's got brown stains all over it. No, that's blood. And this door's jammed shut. Nice wad of paper. This tree probably died years ago. Makes quite a conversation piece, though. This door's locked, and I don't see a place for a key. Must be hooked up to some type of keyless entry system. Seems like a strange place to hang a painting. And a security keypad. I guess whatever's behind the door must be important. Security. Whoa, now there's an antique. A real 16mm projector. These books look like they've been tossed around, like somebody was rifling through them. Still more paper scattered around. Doesn't appear to be too important. Pencils are well chewed. I got that problem myself. That's the desk drawer. Nothing in. Paper scattered around appears to have fallen off the bookcase. Paper scattered. Some of these floorboards appear to be loose. Oh, Lord. Someone put some good holes in this guy. There's not much left of him, but I don't think this is Malloy, judging by the hair. Looks more like the guy in the photo downstairs. David Wright. The question is, who's responsible for this? And did they get Malloy, too? Some of these floorboards appear to be loose. Looks like a post-war map of Scotland. Bookcase doors. Interesting. It's a reel of 16mm film. This reel looks at least 100 years old. Book. Movie screen? Sheesh, I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid. What is this? There's got to be some sort of practical joke. Wait a second. Whatever that thing is, it just moved. I think I remember some sort of alien autopsy film from years ago, but that alien was dead. This thing looks alive. Just barely. Seems to be in a lot of pain. Wonder what happened to him. Uh-oh. He doesn't look like he's gonna make it. I Wonder if Malloy's disappearance is connected in some way to the contents of this film clip. Military personnel, a live alien? If it wasn't a hoax, this thing could stir things up in a big way. Maybe I shouldn't be getting involved. This is the sort of thing that gets people killed. Some unlucky soul lost his wallet. So, my landlord dropped his wallet, and it's full of cash. Of course, I could return it. These doors lead to the Brew and Stew. It's the only place in the neighborhood to get a decent meal. The Brew and Stew, Louie's diner, is more of a home to me than my place at the Ritz. Louie's probably my best friend if I have one. He's always making sure I get enough to eat, and he runs me tabs for months at a time. My current debt is up to $200. But with the smell of fresh coffee and Louie's special home cooking, the Brew and Stew always has the welcome sign turned on.
Mike! I noticed you talking to that older gentleman last night. I bet Rook $20 that he hired you to do some work for him.
Well, I'm happy to report that Rook owes you $20, though I'm sure he's going to be real happy about paying off the bet.
I think Rook's only nice to members of the fairer sex, and not too many of them. So I was right. You did get a job.
My client's looking for a friend of his. He's not having too much luck finding him. He gave me a nice advance to see what I could turn up.
Congratulations, Mike. It must be a relief to be working again.
Well, it's good to have something in my wallet besides a list of IOUs. I'm actually thinking of spending some of my advance on Chelsea, if she's still talking to me.
Chelsea's like a souffle, Mike. Treat her real gentle, and don't hurry things too much. She's pretty soft inside.
Yeah, but she's all golden brown and she smells good. Whenever I get close to her, it's hard to keep from drooling all over myself.
Maybe that's your problem. A girl like Chelsea needs you to be close, but not too close. You know what I mean?
No. You can explain it to me some other time, because right now I need to run a few things by you.
Sorry, Mike. Haven't heard of him. I guess that's the name of the girl who sings up at the Fuchsia Flamingo. I haven't seen her in action. Oh, yeah. I remember this scarf. And the perfume on it. Young, blonde girl. Came in here a while ago. She was real pretty, though a little heavy on the makeup. I think she said her name was Emily. I don't know anything else about her. I saw Malden a couple weeks ago when the cops came by to clean out Rusty's place. He hasn't changed much, except around the waistline. I'm pretty sure I've never heard that name. This is the guy that was with that young blonde girl who was wearing the nice-smelling scarf. Sorry, Mike. Haven't heard. I don't like to talk bad about people, so I got nothing to say about Nilo. I just saw him talking to you. That's about it. Rook's just an ordinary son of a gun, but believe it or not, he's pretty soft underneath. What are you asking about me for? I ain't nothing special. Chelsea's the sweetest girl I've ever met. There's nothing I'd like more than to see you two together. You're okay in my book, Mike, no matter what anyone else says. You're okay in my book, Mike. Well, Mike, if I had to guess, I'd say it's written in Yucatec. It's a Mayan language spoken in southern Mexico. I can't help you with the translation, though. You know who might be able to help you is Clint. I heard he's quite a world traveler. You might give it a try.
Ritz Hotel. Nilo is undisputed.
Como esta, pea-brain? Must be nice now you don't need to sneak in through the back. So, what do you want? Got a whole new respect for you, snotface.
This. Oh, the Coco Cabana. I heard that Clint, the local chocolate junkie, opened some kind of business up at Coit Tower. A sermon on the joys of not eating meat, to be delivered by Reverend Gary. Okay. The Coco Cabana was just opened by a reformed bum named Clint. I met him during my last case when he was living in a dumpster in an alley behind Rook's pawn shop.
Yeah.
I thought I'd just come by, check out your place. Maybe order myself a snack. How about a vanilla shake?
Vanilla's for pansies. The only thing I serve here is pure creamy chocolate. And if that's too strong for you, well, then get lost.
Okay, well, let's see the menu. Oh, your house special looks interesting. Clint's enchanting chocolate chili. Does that come con carne?
Read the sign again, bonehead. It says, sorry, no carne. Besides, I'm all out of the chocolate chili. Sorry.
Tell you what, why don't you surprise me? I'd like something tasty, but not too rich.
Sorry, I happen to be out of everything at the moment. In fact, I was just about to close up for the day. So unless you have something important on your mind, well, why don't you just run along? Nope. Drawing a complete blank.
Louis told me that you might be able to help me out.
Ah, how's that?
Well, he says you're quite a world traveler. Tell me what you make of this.
Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. The cheese factory is on fire. Hell, I can't read any of that crap. Jesus, I tell Louis I went to Tijuana a couple times and now what? Suddenly I'm Marco Polo? Emily? Yeah, you must be talking about the girl who sings at the Flamingo. She's come by here a couple times with a gigantic guy named Gus Leach. He runs the Fuchsia Flamingo, and he might be Emily's boyfriend. They come by every once in a while and order the Bliss on a biscuit. Actually, now that you mention it, the last time those two were here, Leach dropped a key under his seat, and I didn't find it until after they left. I've been meaning to run it down to the Flamingo, but if you're gonna go that way, drop it off for me. That's Emily's stage name. This scarf belongs to Emily. Love that perfume. Smells almost as good as fresh chocolate. Oh, I wish I could help you. Ever heard of her? Nope. Oh, I wish I could. Nilo? An open sore on the face of humanity. At one point, I had to choose between living at the Ritz and living in the dumpster. I took the lesser evil. Totally unfamiliar to me. That blood-sucking tightwad, he wanted me to pay rent for living in the dumpster outside of his pawn shop. That guy's a real gem. Hell of a cook. Chelsea's a nice girl. But whatever happened between us was over long ago. Don't let the torch she still carries for me stand in your way. All right, you brought me a chocolate pie when I was on the skids. I'm indebted to you for the rest of my life. You're a god. Happy?
So Emily works at the Flamingo with someone named Gus Leach. Now that I got the key, maybe I should go ahead and pay him a little visit. This gate leads to an alley behind the Ritz and the Flamingo. This must be the back door to the Flamingo. This little baby's my ticket into the Fuchsia Flamingo.
Didn't mean to wake you, Emily. I'm sorry. How did you get in here?
You recognize this? It's your key. You dropped it down by Coy Tower, but I brought it by just to check and make sure it was the right one.
Well, you're a regular Boy Scout, aren't you?
What's funny you'd say that, because I used to be a Boy Scout, Troop 77. But now I'm a PI, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What's that smell?
I'm not sure, but my best guess is this is what you're smelling. Oh, it's not mine. Really.
Where'd you get this?
Well, I found it next door at the Ritz. That's where I live, and I've been trying to find out who it belongs to.
I'll make sure it gets to the right person. Now, why don't you run along before I call the cops?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think Mr. Leach and I hit it off pretty darn well. At least he told me what I wanted to know. Emily lives at the Flamingo. Now I'll just have to find another way into the club, get past that big mutant. Maybe Chelsea could help. Seems to me she mentioned having a membership to the club. If she's home, I'll apologize and see if she'll go out for a drink with me. Maybe at the Fuchsia Flamingo. When I get to Chelsea's apartment at the Four Gables, there's a knot in my stomach as big as a cantaloupe. She's probably convinced I stood her up. I'll be lucky if she even talks to me. Hi.
You're just a little late, aren't you?
Okay. I know this looks really bad, and you're probably really upset with me.
You're damn right I'm upset. I didn't deserve to be stood up.
This has to be one of the worst days of my life. I finally get a date with you and somebody decides to knock me out. I wouldn't blame you if you never talked to me again.
Oh, I have heard a lot of lame excuses, but this has got to be the worst one ever.
I'd never stand you up on purpose. Not after all the groveling I've done to get you to go out with me.
And why should I believe you?
Well, feel my head. This lump is either the place where I got hit or I sprouted a brain tumor the size of a tennis ball.
Ooh. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's not like I've never taken a shot to the head before. It's hard to believe my brain still works.
You really shouldn't set yourself up like that.
Yeah, I know. But hey, speaking of setups, I think we both need a drink. What do you think about tying one on down at the Fuchsia Flamingo?
Funny you should mention that place. I just got a membership there last week, and I've been wanting to try it out.
I wait for Chelsea to get gussied up, and then we fly down to the Flamingo. Chelsea's in a sunny mood, and I'm relieved that she's forgiven me for standing her up. Gus Leach meets us at the door. He greets Chelsea warmly, then gives me a less than neighborly look. Maybe he'd be friendlier if I were wearing a sexy black dress like Chelsea has on, but probably not.
So what do you think?
Well, it's quite a place. Interesting decor.
I think it's great. But then, of course, I've always been attracted to blatant tackiness.
Should I take that personally?
Take it any way you like. Do you remember yesterday I told you I had something I wanted to tell you?
Yeah.
Well, lately I've been thinking more about us.
As in, you and me.
I have to admit, up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought you were just another smug and sensitive bag of male hormones. I couldn't even figure out why I was attracted to you, until I decided it was just another misguided response and me feeling like I was getting old.
Well, 30 is not old. You're still a kid.
But now that I've gotten to know you better, underneath it all, I realize that you're a really decent guy. And like I always said, I've always been attracted to you, in a rugged, lost boy sort of a way.
Let me get this straight. All I've had to do is wait until you've turned 30.
Turning 30 has just made me consider what's important. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fuchsia Flamingo proudly presents your entertainment for this evening. Now, please give a warm welcome for luscious Lucy Love.
You think about the words in your mind. You think about the words in your mind. You think
Now that little item looks familiar. It's the brooch and scarf I found in Malloy's room. Leach must have returned it to its rightful owner, I guess. Nice to meet you, Emily.
Simple thoughts and dirty love takes a pounding from above.
You were married before, right? You never talk about it.
Well, it's more like the Inquisition than a marriage. People tell me to go to hell. I tell them I've already been there.
Well, would you ever try it again? I mean, with someone new.
Boy, Louie was right. This girl is a knockout. Maybe a little heavy on the makeup, but still. Whoa. Man, I gotta find a way to ask her some questions about her boyfriend, Malloy. Unfortunately, Leach hasn't taken his eyes off me since I came in. Maybe Chelsea could distract Leach for a minute, and then I could... No. She probably wouldn't understand why I wanted to meet Emily in her room.
Paging Mr. Murphy, do I need to repeat the question?
Huh? No. You were talking about marriage. Would I do it again?
Well...
Simple thoughts and dirty love
Yeah, I might if I thought it was the right thing to do.
pounding from above. Getting caught on stormy nights, naughty drinks and pillow fights.
Malloy must be some kind of dynamo if he can handle her.
This body of mine,
I'm gonna have to make my move pretty soon.
this body of mine,
As soon as Leach gives me an opening, I'll slip up to her
this
room.
body of mine.
Tex, it's not polite to stare, especially at other women.
No, it's not like that, Chelsea. This woman might be tied to a case that I'm working on. I hope I get a chance to talk to her tonight.
So that's why you suggested that we come here tonight, right? You used me to get in here so that you could follow some damn lead?
Well, not for some damn lead. I wanted to take you out for your birthday. I just figured I could kill two birds with one stone.
2 birds?
Allow me to rephrase that.
No, you're not talking your way out of this one. I can't believe I ever thought you were anything but a self-centered creep.
Give me a chance to explain.
No, you know what? I'm not interested in talking to you. You know,
Listen.
I don't think this is gonna work. We're friends right now, and I just think we better leave it like that. Thanks.
Hey,
Don't even think about leaving without paying for the drinks.
why didn't you stop her? She owed half the tab.
Why don't you be a gentleman and pick up the tab?
Woman. Well, the bright side is now I don't have to explain to Chelsea why I'm going to make a break for Emily's room. I go back to the table and wait for Leach to be distracted. When my opportunity appears, I head towards the facilities, then hang a quick right and hurry up the stairs.
Come near me and I'll scream. I mean it.
Hold on. I just need to talk to you for a minute.
What do you want?
My name's Tex Murphy. I'm looking for Thomas Malloy.
I know you.
Have we met?
No, you're a detective, right? Listen, I have to get ready for my next set. Why don't you have a seat right over here? I've heard you can help people.
I do my best.
You think you can help me?
That depends on the problem.
I think someone's gonna murder me.
Why would you think that?
It started a couple days after Thomas left. I got a weird call. Someone asking where Thomas had gone. I told them I didn't know, and they hung up. A couple days later, I found a note in my room. After I read it, I was so scared. I told Gus. He told me not to worry about it, that it was just some freak who gets off on scaring women. But I know it's not like that. It's serious.
Oh, this sounds like something the police ought to handle.
Gus says he'll protect me. He doesn't want the police or anyone else taking care of me. I know he means well. But sometimes... But he's always been so good to me. I don't know what to do.
I'll need to take a look at the note, if you still got it.
I do. But I tore it up after I read it. I was gonna throw it away, but I decided to save it and give it to the police.
Good girl. Now, have you received any calls or messages like this since then?
No. But I feel like someone's watching me.
I'll check that out. By the way, could you tell me your real name?
Emily. Emily Sue Patterson.
Listen, Emily, I'll do what I can. But you gotta promise me that you'll tell me everything about Dr. Malloy.
Well, that's probably fair. I think I can trust you. Why are you looking for him?
Actually, I was hired by a friend of his to find him.
Hey, Emily, you're on it. What the hell are you doing in here?
Gus, it's okay. He just came up for an autograph picture. I'll be right
Get the photo
down.
another time. Get the hell out.
We were done anyway. Good night, Lucy.
Don't bother going back to your table. Just keep on walking right out of my club. If I see the flamingo again, I'll break your legs.
Well, my bar tab's on the table. Guess that means the drinks are on you. Night, Leech. I keep thinking about Chelsea and the way we left things last night. Should I call her and apologize again? Let her cool off for a while. And maybe I've blown it with her for good. Small consolation is I got into the Flamingo, spoke to Emily, and have the note she gave me, which I'm hoping will give me a new lead to locating Malloy. Well, Emily Stalker was careful not to leave anything traceable on this note. The only distinctive thing about it is the black arrow symbol. I've known Lieutenant Mac Malden for years, and occasionally we help each other out. Like a few months ago, when I gave Mac a tip on finding Rusty the Clown's body in the funhouse down the street from the Ritz.
Well, as I live and breathe, it isn't Tex Murphy, my little PI pal.
Hey, what's your arm doing in a sling? Isn't it usually your butt?
You're a funny guy, Murphy. You know, I sprained my elbow beating the hell out of a guy just 'cause he reminded me of you.
You know, Mac, they say it's a thin line between love and hate.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Get out of my office!
And I think you're forgetting who tipped you off about finding Rusty's remains at the funhouse and got you named Cop of the Month.
I didn't forget. Though I'd like to. So what do you want? Don't know anything about it.
Take a look at this note.
Damn. Did you get this?
I got it from a client. What can you tell me about it?
You ever hear about the Black Arrow killer?
It's vaguely familiar, but refresh my memory.
Oh no, you're on your own in this one. You take care of yourself. That's dangerous territory. Most of what I know came from the papers. I know there's a rumor around that the Black Arrow killer has moved out here. There are a lot of perverts running around these days. We can't keep tabs on all of them. You think I know everyone in this town? Don't know anything about it? You think I know? No can do, Murphy. I'm doing just fine. Now that Joanne's left me, it's like a whole new, beautiful world. You think I know everyone in this town? No can do. Don't know any. You think I know?
Wife, you just missed Chelsea. She stopped in to say goodbye. She's apparently off to Arizona. Is everything okay with you two?
Well, we had a bit of a tiff at the Fuchsia Flamingo. Felt just like we were married.
Well, wife, don't let a little disagreement slow you down. Chelsea and me talked a bit. Things are kind of rough for her right now.
Well, maybe I'm just not in touch with my feminine side, but what exactly is so rough?
Well, it's part you, part turning 30. I told her everyone goes through a phase like this. I haven't yet. Of course, I'm still young. I'm 58 and I still ain't ready to settle down. Tell me, wife, you ever been truly in love with someone?
Sure. Used to be married.
Yeah, the only thing easier than falling in love is getting married.
Don't remind me. That's the last time I'll ever drink 150 proof vodka.
You know what it is, wife? Chemicals. Up in your brain. We got these chemicals going bananas.
Yeah, when the old dorsal amygdala gets fired up, look out for trouble.
My point is, falling in love don't mean a lot. What's hard is knowing someone real well and still liking them. But that ain't even the hardest thing. The hardest thing is finding someone you can trust. Remember that. Now, I'll get off my soapbox. What can I do for you? I've heard talk that a stranger's been seen around the neighborhood for a while now. Of course, a lot of people come and go around here. I remember reading about the Black Arrow killer. Someone was covering the story in the Bay City Mirror. You want to find copies of the Black Arrow Killer articles? I throw out all my old papers, but Rook sometimes holds on to his. Keeps him in the alley back at the pawn shop. Out of my league on that one.
The garbage can to person ratio is pretty high in this part of the country. I think it's about 4 to 1. Man, seems like I have to go through Rook's garbage at some point in every case I take. What a dirty, rotten job. Well, here's an old issue of the Bay City Mirror. That's a manhole cover. A sewer line must run under the alley. This looks like the kind of money belt the drug dealers are wearing these days. I think I could put this money to a more productive use than any drug dealer could. A Playbub. Oh, gross. This magazine is filthy. I'll never get all the sewage off it. Well, this box looks like it hasn't rotted through yet. A chisel. Maybe someone's been down here doing some prospecting. That...
I heard it through the grapevine that you and Chelsea had a little spat at the Flamingo. How embarrassing.
Well, for your information, it was a lover spat. Of course, you probably wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Well, I know more about it than you'll ever know. You're completely clueless about women. And speaking of clueless, how is that case coming along? I've heard that a stranger's been seen lurking around the neighborhood lately. I figured it was just you getting your jollies. I remember Lucia Purnell. Quite a strong-willed young woman. She works for the Bay City Mirror and came to interview me right after my shop was broken into. I have her business card here if you want to contact her. The Mirror is a fine publication. I try to save my copies so they can be recycled. Then the bums come while I'm sleeping and steal them, probably using them for blankets. I read about the Black Arrow Killer in the newspaper, but why are you asking me about him? He was arrested in Nevada some time ago. I don't know a thing about it. As a matter of fact, I just received a large number of reference books from an estate. If I'm not mistaken, one of the books was titled Yucatec Made Easy. You can buy it if you'd like, $30.
Well, I hope my new purchase will help me out.
Well, if it wasn't for me, he'd still be camping out in the dumpster. I told him I was going to charge him rent, and he moved up to Coit Tower. Well, I don't know where he got the money to open his chocolate stand. He probably stole it. Never heard the name in my life.
The electronic shop. I have to laugh every time I think about all the free stuff I picked up with my bogus electronic shop credit card. The electronic shop opened last year, and I got to know the previous owner, Ham Underwood. I got an electronic shop credit card under somewhat shady circumstances, and I ran up a good-sized bill during my last case. I hear there's a new owner now, some guy named Zach Williams.
Hold it right there. Get your hands up where I can see them. All right, now, take out your electronic shop credit card. Ah. Nice and easy. So you're Murphy. I just got your photo from the credit department. We were wondering when you'd show up here again. I got orders about you. Straight from corporate headquarters. Sorry I gotta do this. But now then, what can I do for you?
Well, I guess this means my credit's shot. You know, I'm almost certain I sent you people a payment.
Really? I wonder why we haven't received it.
Well, let me think for a minute. Maybe it's because your company is run by a staff of incompetent bozos.
Your account is over 120 days delinquent, and you owe us $1,230.
Say what?
That amount includes one fax machine, $399, one laser blade, $29, a film developing kit, $179.
For that piece of crap?
You bought it. And $623 in interest.
What?
$623 in interest.
All right, all right. Here's your money. Now, when do I get my new credit card?
You don't. From now on, it's cash only. If you see something you like, ask me about it, and I'll give you a price.
Photo analyzer. Most of the photos I've seen don't require much psychiatric help. Now there's utility. A radio that doubles as a boat propeller. These joysticks never seem to provide the satisfaction they promise. Tissot watches. Last one I had broke down. This computer has way too many keys. I used to have a battery pack like this for my Robco toys. Taser. I had one of those once, but I kept zapping myself. That is one old camera. I don't think they even make film for these anymore. The Robco Combuster. Now that's interesting. Memo pad. Jeez. Are they still trying to sell these things? They haven't sold a single visor since I started shopping here. A relief globe of the moon. That might come in handy if I ever have to relieve myself on the moon. I got one of these, and it's a real beauty. I'm afraid my credit card for this slide box was, terminated. This place has been locked up for months. This gate opens up to the alley behind the Golden Gate Hotel.
And he proclaimed in a mighty voice, "Woe be unto ye,
I've heard about
eaters of
Crazy
flesh.
Gary, but we've never formally
Cursed are
met.
those who
He
partake
appears
of the
occasionally in
sausage
some nook
fatty
of Chandler
and
Avenue,
link
ranting
and
wildly
sizzling
like a
bacon.
space-age Moses strung out
Cry
on
for
Demerol and
forgiveness,
bad
ye
scotch.
ingestors of honey-baked ham.
You! No, not you, the one in the hat. Have you not come to be healed?
Well, now that you mention it, it's kind of hurt when I go like this.
Then quit doing it.
Wow, I'll be darned. You're right. That actually feels much better.
Heal thyself, stranger. The path of regularity and low blood pressure is straight and narrow. Partake not of the flesh, especially red meat, and choose instead the bulk and fiber of cereals, fruits, vegetables, and especially grains.
Oh, I get plenty of grains, of the fermented variety.
Ah, then you too are an imbiber of the blessed potations. Which do you prefer, rum or vodka?
Hey, I don't care what it is as long as it's got one of those little umbrellas in it.
I, myself, prefer a nice single malt scotch.
I'll tell you what. If I bring you a bottle of single malt scotch, will you answer some questions?
For a bottle of single malt, I will not only answer your questions, I will bless your family for 3 generations. For now, I must return to my preaching.
Sounds like a bottle of good scotch might loosen up Crazy Gary's tongue. I heard that Sal Lucido, the former owner of the Slice of Heaven pizza parlor, kept a first-rate stash of illegally imported booze somewhere on the street. I wonder why I never noticed this door here before. Yeah, floors and stairs in here are all pretty dusty. Doesn't look as though anybody's been in here for a while. The box looks like it's empty. Yeah, old shipping boxes. It's a bottle of something. Yummy. 25-year-old scotch. It's a piece of sheet metal propped up against the wall. It's a piece of sheet metal propped up. I can't imagine where this door goes.
And he lifted his voice and prophesied, in those days they
I've heard
shall
about it.
pervert.
I happen to be in the middle of a very important sermon.
Well, I brought you an offering.
How may I assist you, O venerable giver of the precious potation? That appellation. I have been summoned by a greater power to preach against the forces of red meat and its kin. It is my calling in life, and I fear no man. A name with... No. I saw this man but once, strolling along the thoroughfare. He appeared to drop an article of some sort. When he bent to retrieve it, I espied an object fall from his pocket. It turned out to be a key. You may indeed have the key, and I wish you luck in locating the poor man. It was a publication I perused on occasion, until one day, to my horror, I saw recipes for... I cannot say it. That a name with which I... No. My ignorance... I am unable... A name... I have seen the name advertised, and it speaks to me of unbridled lasciviousness. No. The cretin is a veritable slaughterhouse. If he approaches to within eyesight, I fairly retch from the foul odor. That... Now there is a man of insight. He eats no meat. Of course, he eats nothing but chocolate. Psycho preacher! That's what the foul little man calls me. A curse be upon his pancreas. That nefarious parasite! his very livelihood subsists on polluting the intestines of all the inhabitants in our fair locality. I have waged war upon him and his ilk, and only one of us will live to tell the tale. Ah, the lovely creature who administers at the local newsstand. A sweet flower. Your taste in Scotch is unquestionable. For that fact alone, I can bear the stench of digesting meat emanating from your every pore.
This gate. I guess they have to keep this door locked now that people are storing their stuff here.
Arr, well, shiver me timbers. It's a pirate's chest. Arr, a peg leg.
I hope all the prosthetic devices didn't belong to the same pirate. What's this? It's a crate, with Thomas Malloy's name stenciled right on the side. I'll need to move it out of that tight corner before I can open it. Control box. This button must turn on the pulley system. This button probably lowers stuff. That box looks like it's empty. Sheesh. The way my luck's been going, this will probably be my next apartment. Looks like that ought to do the trick. Looks like something fell out of Malloy's crate. What's this? It's a crate, with Thomas Malloy's name stenciled right on the side. Plains of Nazca. I don't see any airplanes. It's a rug or a wall hanging. Well, this is certainly an interesting design. I wonder what type of symbols these are. If Louis was right, this book should help me figure out what the letter says. My new vid phone is a...
This is a private number.
Yeah, I know. This is Lucia Purnell, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm Purnell. Who are you?
My name's Murphy. I'm a PI, and I'm investigating a case you covered in the Bay City Mirror. The Black Arrow Killer.
Yeah? So are 1,000 other people. What makes you so special?
I've got a note that might be from the Black Arrow Killer.
Okay, let's meet. I can tell you whether it's the real thing or not.
I live in the Old City on Chandler Avenue. There's a diner close by called the Brew and Stew. Let's meet there.
I know the place. I'll be there in 15 minutes. By the way, what did you say your name was?
Tex Murphy. That's T-E-X.
I got it.
Well, I hope I didn't take you away from anything important.
Nah, just a fight with my editor. Can't even remember what we argued about.
Well, don't worry, because I'm not here to start a fight.
Truth is, I piss people off, usually the wrong people.
Well, at least we got that in common.
Good. Now, you said you had a note?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this?
I got it from a client.
Your client's in danger, Murphy. How much do you know about the Black Arrow Killer?
Killed a few people in the Southwest a couple of years ago, and then a girl around here got killed recently.
You know, Malden might know more than he's letting on. Then again, he might not. Of course, if he did, I doubt he'd tell you. He's not that stupid.
I'm not so sure about that. Look, why don't you fill me in on a few details, and then I can be certain.
It's a long story.
Come on over to the booth and hear me.
You're slightly above average, aren't you?
Yeah, and many things.
Well, we'll just have to cut you down to size, won't we? When the first bodies turned up in Arizona in the summer of '41, the local police tried to keep the story off the wires. They didn't want the bad publicity. It wasn't until March of '42, when 3 other victims were found, that the story really broke big. Turned out the killer in all 5 cases had the same M.O. He sent notes to his victims before murdering them. I had a chance to see one of those notes. It was exactly like this one.
Had the black arrow, all that?
Right, and the block lettering, same words, everything. You probably know cases like this can spawn copycat murders. For that reason, the police didn't release copies of the notes to the media.
Well, so they could differentiate between the copycat killer and the real killer.
Exactly. Anyway, the Black Arrow Killer racked up 2 more victims in Nevada before the police finally caught up with him. At that point, the FBI moved in and media coverage evaporated. The name of the guy they arrested was Leroy Kettler. The night they booked him, he hung himself in his cell with a shoelace. Funny thing is, he was wearing cowboy boots.
Now that's a little hard to explain.
After things cooled off, I went down there and interviewed a few people, including an inmate who told me that 2 men in suits went to Kettler's cell the night before he hung himself. I'm pretty sure they were NSA.
NSA? What would the National Surveillance Agency be doing messing around with a serial killing case? More than that, why would they kill Kettler?
Maybe he was a fall guy. Or maybe Kettler really was the serial killer and the feds just didn't want the case resolved. Regardless, there was a cover-up.
Mac Malden said there was another case around here. How does that tie in?
It doesn't. The girl was a grad student at San Francisco Tech. There was no indication that she was receiving threatening notes, and there was nothing out of the ordinary before she was murdered. Oddly enough, the police found a note in her room. At that point, the feds moved in and took over.
That girl. What was her name?
Collins. Sandra Collins. You know something I ought to know?
I'm not sure.
Now, there's no chance that you can give me the name of your client?
You know I can't do that. But I'll tell you what. If I find out who's stalking my client, you're gonna get a scoop out of this.
That's a fair deal. By the way, have you heard of a place called Autotech?
Don't think so.
Might be worth checking into. Oh, and Murphy, one more thing. When I was following this story in Nevada, I met a guy just like you, a PI. He asked a lot of questions, too. A week later, he had a tag on his toe. Suicide, I think.
Brunel certainly gave me a lot to think about. What's the common denominator between Fitzpatrick, Malloy, Kettler, and this young woman, Sandra Collins? Too few details, too many implications. The bottom line is, whoever sent the note to Emily's for real, and she's in danger. Brunel mentioned a place called Autotech. Maybe that's a place to start. Somebody just jumped off the water tower on the roof of Rusty's funhouse. Dressed all in black. Maybe Emily wasn't just imagining that someone was watching her. My new vid phone is essential.
Hi, Tex. I just called to say that I'm off to Phoenix. I'm really sorry about the way I've been over the past few days. I guess I'm just having a hard time deciding on what I want right now. I'm going to take a break for a while, and I guess I'm going to try to figure out what's best for me. I'll give you a call soon and let you know how things are going. Bye.
Well, it's good to know Chelsea doesn't hate me after our little disagreement at the Flamingo. Maybe I still got a chance with her after all. This is my... Looks like the cops put one of their computerized locks on the door. Rusty's front door is sealed off with a cop lock. There's no way I can get in without unlocking it. Rusty's door. Poor Rusty. Probably burning in hell right now. Looks like some local hooligans have been in here. wonder what this pedal-looking thing does. Right about the time Grandpa started wearing Huggies, I used to switch one of these for his real dentures. A lot of good memories here. Empty cardboard boxes. It's an old newspaper with Mac Malden named Policeman of the Week. Must have been a real slow week at the precinct. Man, this fake doggy-doo looks real enough to step in. Man, this fake stuff looks so real. It'll make a great gag. Can you imagine the look on somebody's face when I... Hey, wait a second. Oh, sick! Those police dogs were in here. Sorry, Mac, but first things first. Rubber chickens. They make me think of Grandma's rubber chicken pot pies. Oh, now here's a classic, fake vomit. This comes in handy when you don't want people taking the seat beside you. I once broke up with a girlfriend over a whoopee cushion. Literally. I wonder why Rusty would keep this copy machine hidden. Unless he was using it to... I don't even want to think about that. Somebody left their coat here. It sure doesn't look like it's been here very long. I wonder if this jacket could have been left by that shadowy figure I saw up here earlier. Let's see what's in the pockets. A cufflink and torn pieces of a photograph. DH. Probably the monogram of the person I'm trying to find. Well, I won't be able to get into the water tower without a key. Looks like the exterior of Autotech, whatever that is. Well, Purnell seemed to think it was important. If I can examine this picture more closely, maybe I can find something that will help me figure out where this place is. This guy must be the new storm.
I'm here to answer questions about the merchandise, and that's all. If you see something you're interested in, ask me about it, and I'll give you a price. Then if you want to buy it, you give me the cash, and you take it with you. Got it? Good.
Well, I hope my new purchase will help me out. Looks like Autotech is located at 144 Barcelona. If I'm not mistaken, that's down in the industrial sector. My new vid phone is essential to my...
Hey, guess what I found out? I got a source that told me Leroy Kettler signed a confession before he supposedly killed himself, only now it's like the confession never happened. No paperwork, no nothing.
So Kettler was the real Black Arrow killer?
Looks that way. Maybe the NSA found it useful for people to think that the killer's still on the loose. So why'd you call?
Yeah, I just needed to ask you a few questions.
I talked to her family after the murder, but they didn't have any useful information. If you want to give it a try, I'll give you the address. There's nothing I'd like more than to light a fire under the National Surveillance Agency. It's like they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Autotech. Gee, that sounds familiar. Wish I could help you with it.
The Collins residence is in the new city, in a nice middle-class neighborhood. Takes some explaining, but I finally get Mrs. Collins to let me look around her daughter's room. She tells me that nothing's been moved in the room since the police were here. The shelves are filled with reference books, but it's nothing I'd be interested in. These bookcase doors don't have locks. A silk gown. Looks like someone's gone through all the contents of these boxes. Typical sliding closet doors. Nothing too fascinating about these clothes. Now there's no lock. Looks like a copy of Sandra Collins' resume. Now the bed looks comfy, but there'll be plenty of time for a nap later. Cosmetics are scattered all over the floor. These papers lying all around don't appear to be very important. The book must have been thrown on the floor. Looks like someone's gone through all the contents of these boxes. I have a hunch that nothing in here but unmentionables. I have a hunch that some of these drawers... nothing in here. I have a... This drawer. I have a hunch that... San Francisco Tech doesn't have any major sports teams. They probably wave these pennants during chess tournaments. It's like a canister of hairspray. Well, what have we here? Looks like it might be a credit card or an ID. An Autotech security card. I wonder if Sandra Collins worked at Autotech. No. Fitzpatrick said she worked at the college. Maybe this card was dropped by whoever killed her. Nice plant. This sewing table appears to have had everything knocked off it. Evidently, nobody saw anything the night Sandra was murdered. It's hard to believe with all these houses so close by. Cosmetics are scattered. Ah, a color print from the Allen collection of Mayan art. Never heard of it. Autotech is housed in a nondescript building in the industrial sector. I go around to a side door and slip the card through the scanner. The door clicks open and I find myself in an empty lobby. That's an interesting piece of machinery. A PC magazine. I wonder why they don't provide any decent reading material like True Detective or Highlights. This door appears to be locked from the other side. This is one of those fancy new windows that slides open and shut. This cord controls the blinds. Either somebody accidentally left their hairbrush here, or Autotech provides grooming tools as part of their customer service. These look like security monitors. It's a card marked Visitor's Pass. It's a visitor's pass. Wow. An ashtray inside an office building. Scandalous. Looks like I'll need to find a special card and passcode before I can open that door. The door to the reception area is locked. Looks like a desk. It's a clipboard with what appears to be check-in codes written on it. Unfortunately, the writing's too small for me to make out and I can't quite reach it. From looking at this clipboard, I'd guess that every visitor at Autotech is given their own access code. The scanner requires a security card and a code number. Looks like a storage closet. That's a mop bucket, still half filled with water. This door's an emergency exit, but it'll set off an alarm if it's opened. Dag Horton. The cufflink I found had the initials DH. Doesn't sound like anyone's in the office. One of these guys must be Horton. Now I'll be able to recognize him. Slick Molson. Looks like a hairy Clint Eastwood. I'd better not use this vid phone. It's probably bugged. This looks like the collectible Patty Hearst Wanted poster. And a music CD player. I guess even cold-blooded killers enjoy a good tune now and again. Kind of a lame hiding place for a key. These desk drawers don't appear to be locked. A necklace, huh? Horton must keep it here for special occasions. These desk drawers don't appear to be locked. Looks like the same kind of junk I keep in the... Inside the Microphone Cartel. Oh yeah, I remember reading about this book, but for some reason it never got published. Looks like a desk to me. Looks like a sticky note. I wonder if this Gary Lee and Crazy Gary could be one and the same. Maybe I should check into the alley in back of the Golden Gate Hotel. Unless I miss my guess. It looks like the Black Arrow killer took a little memento from his last victim. If I can unlock these drawers, I might get a little more information on the Black Arrow killer. A llama matchbook tin. I'd walk a kilometer for a llama. A llama cigarette tin. I'd walk a kilometer for a llama. Two of these surveillance photos show Emily in the Flamingo. The others must be of Sandra Collins. A little Bo Peep. The bookcase is full of reference books. Nothing too interesting. This key looks like it might go to a padlock. Oh, a Meisterlock padlock key. I wonder if this Gary Lee and Crazy Gary could be one and the same. Maybe I should check into the alley in back of the Golden Gate Hotel.
and in a vision.
I've heard about Crazy Gary.
A blessing be upon you and your progeny unto 3 generations. How may I assist you in your thirsty quest for knowledge? Yes, I know him. He came to me bearing a bottle of exquisite scotch. In exchange, I was to watch to see what deliveries were made to the Fuchsia Flamingo nightclub. Earlier today, I spoke with him and told him that I saw a package delivered yesterday. He was very pleased. Yeah, I've not heard of such a thing. For your information, only minutes ago, I saw a light in the water tower above Rusty's funhouse. My ignorance. I
better go back and check up on Rusty's roof. I climbed the ladder to the water tower trapdoor and used the padlock key from Horton's office on the Meister lock. The key fits like a glove. This clamp's been sprung. Useless. It's a tube of an old telescope. This looks like some kind of viewing device. Unless I miss my guess, it's pointed right at Emily's apartment window.
What are you doing? Leech! There is somebody up in Emily's room.
Look, I've had it with you. You're gonna carry me out of a stretcher.
I swear to God, if you don't let me go, he's gonna kill her!
You better be on the level.
Are you okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna catch that guy.
Hey!
I take the back stairs of the Flamingo down to the street. Maybe I can still catch the Black Arrow Killer before he gets out of the neighborhood.
Listen, Rook, I'm looking for a man. He's dressed all in black and he just attacked a girl over at the Flamingo. Have you seen him?
Yes, I heard a noise outside my shop. When I went out to look, I caught a glimpse of a black figure. A moment ago, I heard a noise on top of my roof, but I don't know how it could have got.
Get back up here! I'm not through with you yet! You picked the wrong PI to screw with today, pal! Well, well. It isn't Mr. NSA alumnus Dag Horton. I have the strangest feeling he's not the real Black Arrow killer. I'm missing part of the picture here, but what is it? And what's the connection to Malloy? The cops show up right after I get a peek under Dag Horton's mask. They take my statement, then ask if I'd like to come and try the new coffee blend down at the station. I happen to know their coffee tastes like llama spit, but they're just being civil. When we get to the police station, I'm escorted into Mac Malden's office.
You don't say. Yeah? Who told you that? Did you know the guy you threw off the roof?
I didn't throw anybody off the roof, okay? Like I told your lackeys out there, we were rollerblading. Things got out of hand, he jammed his wheel, and the next thing I know...
You seem to forget I'm a cop, and I'm a tired, pissed off cop. If you keep getting on my nerves, I can put you in a drunk tank. We can do this whole thing again tomorrow. So, you chase the guy up to Rusty's funhouse. Then what?
Well, there was a black Avatar speeder up on the roof waiting for the guy. I jumped him, and we struggled, but he went right over the top.
We got a witness says the attacker was carrying a box when he ran from the Flamingo. We didn't find it. You know anything about that?
No. I've told you everything I know.
All right, Murphy. You can go. Your story matches up. Right? There's one more thing. The NSA is getting involved in this. They're interested in that missing box. They're gonna want to talk to you. Don't get too smart on this one, Murphy. You're in way over your head.
Thanks for the tip.
Oh, you're welcome. One more thing.
Oh, man, this is not what you're gonna tell me. Stick around in town. We might have to ask you some more questions. How many times have you told me that over the last 10 years? This case is getting way too complicated. There's a connection between Horton, the NSA, and the box Horton stole from Emily's apartment. But what is it? The NSA getting involved worries me. And then there's that gorgeous woman who got me off the hook. Who's she? I guess I need a plan of action. But first I need to talk to Emily and find out what she knows about Malloy. And then about the box Horton stole from her apartment. Sheesh, it's gonna be a busy day.
Just the man I wanted to talk to. I understand the Black Arrow killer struck for the last time. Care to make any comment?
Yeah, I've got a name for you. Dag Horton.
Thanks for the lead. I'll see what I can find out about this Horton guy. This could be just what I need to top off my story on the Black Arrow killer cover-up.
Yeah, I'm sure the NSA is just gonna love it.
Yeah, I know.
This thing must have fallen out of Horton's pocket. Oh, this is a tracking device. Maybe Horton stashed the box he stole from Emily's apartment and was planning on using this to locate the box later. This operates the way most tracking devices do. The sound it emits will speed up the closer I get to the target. There's too much interference up here for this thing to work. I better take it down to the street. The tracking device should work fine down here. What's the... It's a manhole cover. Wonder what's hidden inside this wall. The brick looks like it should come loose, but I can't get my fingers under it to move it. Whoa, a small device is attached to the box. I'd better take a closer look before I do anything rash.
It's a Claiborne mine. I've read about these. To deactivate it, the red photons must be transferred to the left, and vice versa for the green. They're transferred by using the small shuttle that has 3 black stripes on it and is now on the red side. The transfer chamber must be powered by a red or green power cell, which is lighter color than the others. Red or green photons can be in the same chamber and in the shuttle, but if there's more of one color than the other, it creates an imbalance and the shuttle won't transfer. This box has holes drilled all over the top. I'll need to find whatever goes in those holes in order to get this box open.
Come on in. Glad you came by. Have you had any problems with the cops?
No, nothing serious.
You want a drink?
Sure.
Bourbon. Straight up, right?
Right. How'd you guess?
Physiognomy. It's a hobby of mine. You can tell almost anything about a person by their facial features.
So I guess I have a bourbon face.
Something like that. Listen, Murphy, I've got to apologize for the other night. See, that note that Emily got shook me up pretty bad. Though, I didn't want her to know I was worried.
Well, don't sweat it. I guess I kind of have a distrustful face. Of course, that'd be your department.
Well, I do want to thank you. You saved Emily's life.
So she's okay?
She's pretty rattled. But she isn't hurt. If you'd come in any later than you did. She's upstairs, sleeping it off.
I'm fine, Gus. I couldn't sleep anymore. Gus told me what you did. I don't know how to thank you.
Well, I guess we cut it pretty close, but I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks.
Listen, Emily, it's not too much trouble. I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
Come on, Murphy. She's been through enough already. Cops grilled her last night. Let's let it rest for a while.
It's okay, Gus. I owe him. A couple more questions isn't gonna hurt me. Go ahead, Tex. Thomas is my husband.
Pardon me for being stupid, but let me get this straight. You're Thomas Malloy's wife?
Yeah, we were married about a year ago.
So where's your husband?
I don't know.
Well, do you have any idea why he doesn't want you to know where he is?
No. He just said it'd be better for me. Safer for me. I honestly don't know why he left.
The man who attacked you last night took something from your apartment. Looked like a small box. Do you know what it was?
No. I mean, I don't know what was in it. I couldn't figure out how to open it.
How'd you get it?
Well, Thomas sent it to me. I don't know why anyone would want it.
How did it arrive?
Through some delivery service. It was wrapped in plain brown wrapper.
How'd you know Thomas sent it to you?
Well, I recognized the handwriting on the outside of the wrapper. It was just plain brown paper. I threw it out, I guess. I don't know where it is. I really don't know too many people around here. This is Thomas, all right. I'm so worried about him. He doesn't look well, does he? Sorry. Thomas didn't tell me very much about his past. I haven't heard anything about that. I heard Thomas mention that, but I don't know much about it. He was one of those cops that questioned me. He smelled like soy sauce. It's not a very glamorous name. When I make it big, I'll change it to something more exciting. Oh, that's just a silly name Gus came up with. He didn't want anyone around here knowing my real name. Gus is an old friend. He's always taken good care of me. He's the pig that works at the Ritz Hotel. When Thomas was staying there, I used to go visit. Nilo always made me feel cheap, the way he looked at me. Sorry. I'm not very good with... Oh, I met Clint. He has a chocolate stand up at the Coit Tower. He always gives me samples for free. I really don't know too many people around here. Louie owns a diner down the street. The stew and... I don't remember. I think she's the girl who works at a newsstand across the street. I haven't heard much about you, except that you're a good PI.
Actually, I'm feeling really beat. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'll see you guys later.
She's a real trooper, isn't she?
Yeah. Murphy, I really owe you. If you ever need a favor, just name it.
Thanks. Keep that in mind. Right now, I need as much information as I can get about Malloy.
I'll tell you what I know. If I knew where he was, I'd tell you. But I haven't heard from him for almost a month. I think I threw it out in the dumpster behind the club. It might still be there. I checked out the box Emily received, but I couldn't figure out how to open it. Doesn't sound familiar. Don't know. Sorry. I've heard it's the most powerful agency in the government. A couple things Malloy told me made me think they're after him for some reason.
That looks like it could be the brown paper wrapper from the package Malloy sent to Emily. It's snagged up on the light post, though. No shortage of looks like a metal rod. Maybe an antenna. This antenna isn't busted. I might be able to extend it. There we go. Oh, there's no return address or name. But there has to be something here that will give me a lead to Malloy. Maybe I need to take a closer look. So, the microdot on the wrapper contains a PB meter number. Probably some kind of postal code. Must identify which post office the package was sent from. Now I just need to find someone who would know which post office that is.
Uncle Sam wants to see you.
Oh man, this isn't about those parking tickets.
Shut up.
All right. My new acquaintance is a good deal less cordial than the police were earlier. I'm thrown into the back of a black Avatar speeder. A few minutes later, we fly into the industrial sector and land by a familiar building. Autotech. I'm led inside, straight to Jackson Cross's office.
Welcome, Mr. Murphy. Please make yourself comfortable. Do you know where you are?
Somewhere between a rock and a hard spot?
That's correct. Do you know who I work for?
Well, I'm not sure. But it's probably an acronym.
This guy's a real joker, isn't he? Mr. Murphy, did you ever hear of the Graham Act? That's an executive order that was enacted about 40 years ago when the United States was having trouble with terrorist groups. It gives our agency carte blanche when dealing with internal security matters. So don't dick with me, Murphy. I'll pull out my gun and blow your face off.
Well then, I guess you work for the NSA.
Bravo! Give the man a big cigar. Now to the next question. Do you know why you're here?
Might have something to do with the guy who fell off the roof.
Your actions contributed to the death of an NSA agent, not to mention the small matter of interfering with an NSA investigation. Now you've got 1 minute to tell me all you know, or you'll find yourself the latest victim of the Graham Act.
A girl hired me to find out who was stalking her. I kept an eye on her place. I saw your guy in her apartment. I chased him to the roof. He pulled out a gun. He tried to shoot me. We struggled and he fell.
We've known for some time that high-level drug deals were going on at the Fuchsia Flamingo. That night, a shipment of euphoria was to be delivered. We had our agent at the girl's apartment to make the bust. Her life was never in any danger. You screwed up. I know that you're still holding something back. What is it?
Geez, I've told you everything I know and then some.
So that's it. There's nothing more you want to tell me about.
Oh, well, there is one more thing. Your agent found a small metal box at the Flamingo.
So you do have it. You should have said so in the first place. Now, do you want to tell us where it is?
I've got it right here. Take it.
So you beat us to the box. You impress me, Murphy. I'm going to do you the favor of a lifetime. I'm going to let you walk. But if I catch you meddling in NSA affairs one more time, I'm going to put a bullet right in your eyeball. Is that clear? Get this pukehead out of my office. I'll be watching you, Murphy.
Yeah, this is good. You can drop me anywhere along here.
We will.
Whoa!
The NSA thugs are courteous enough to drop me off back at the Ritz. When I get to my apartment, I notice the door is slightly ajar. The government boys probably spent some time in my office looking for the box. Hello.
I hope you don't mind. The door was open.
Well, I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long.
Nice place you got here. Decorate it yourself?
No. My housekeeper just started on Prozac.
Have a seat.
Well, thank you.
So, aren't you gonna thank me?
You pulled my chestnuts out of the fire the other night, didn't you? I didn't get a chance to thank you because you left so quickly. I want to know why you did it.
Oh, I'm sure you have women doing all kinds of crazy things just to get your attention.
You don't know me very well, do you? When a woman pays attention to me, generally I'm so stunned, I don't do anything about it.
I doubt that very much. So you drink bourbon, huh?
Yeah, I can afford it.
Yamas.
Yamas. Sounds Greek to me.
That's Greek to everybody.
I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ms.
Madsen. Regan Madsen. But I'd prefer you call me Regan.
Okay, Regan. You can call me Tex.
That's not your real name. What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Sorry. I gotta know somebody pretty thoroughly before I come clean on that one.
Well, then, maybe you should get to know me pretty thoroughly. So where's the box?
Box. Yeah, I got lots of boxes. What size do you need?
You know what I'm talking about.
I do not.
You like to play games, Tex. So do I. What's your angle?
I don't have an angle, Miss Madsen. My business is my own. I don't have a partner, and I don't like small talk. You're a very beautiful woman. Extremely beautiful woman. But that doesn't make any difference as far as I'm concerned.
Tough, too. I have a proposition for you. First of all, you should know, I didn't just stumble into this part of town by accident. I've been looking for somebody.
And who might that be?
Thomas Malloy.
I gotta find out about this guy. He knows all the beautiful women in town.
He's my father.
Oh.
I heard you were asking around about him, and I thought I'd see what you found out.
You said something about boxes.
Still playing the game? My father sent out several boxes lately. The NSA was closing in on him and he started to panic. I'm not exactly sure what was in the boxes or however many he sent out, but whoever finds all those boxes is going to come into an ungodly amount of money.
So what's your proposition?
I've already got one of the boxes. You give me the one you have, and I'll cut you in on the deal. Help me locate the others, and we'll have more money than you ever imagined. That's my proposition, plain and simple. You'll probably want some time to think this over. Why don't you call me at this number when you're ready to talk? Don't lose that number, Tex. I think we'd make a perfect fit.
Well, Regan Madsen sure knows how to make a first impression. Question is she on the level? There's no way to know if she's really Malloy's daughter or if she knows any more about the boxes than I do. I wonder if Fitzpatrick has any knowledge of the boxes, or Regan for that matter. There's a lot more involved here than just tracking down an old friend, and I'm right in the middle of it.
What can I do for you, Murphy?
That's the code for the post office in the Mission District.
Well, there are some things I don't know about. She came down to the station and asked about you. It's a good thing she vouched for you, too, or you might still be a guest here. We confirmed his identity before the NSA showed up. I don't know anything else about him. Like I told you.
I land my speeder outside the post office Mac referred me to. The counter help fails to live up to its name, but a professional loiterer working outside seems to recognize Malloy in the photo. For half a pack of smokes, he suggests I check out several boarding houses in the area. After pounding the pavement for over an hour, I arrive at a quaint brownstone called the Garden House.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for my Uncle Thomas. You see, we lost him last week.
I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you. So, is he staying here?
You say his name is Thomas? No, there's no one by the name of Thomas staying here.
He might be using the name Tyson Matthews.
Oh, heavens, yes. He moved in last week. Such a nice man.
Well, I know he seems very nice, but he's really a sick man. You know, nuts. He's got a terrible case of Murphy Bar syndrome.
My goodness, he seems so lucid.
Yes, it's a strange illness. The only symptoms are an irresistible attraction to boarding houses, and of course, compulsive lying. When he has a relapse, it's like pulling teeth to get a straight answer out of it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's just so hard to see Uncle Thomas turning into a horrible zombie of a man.
Wish you, my nephew. Your uncle's not in right now, but I'll let you into his room. You can wait for him up there. Okie dokie?
Well, his bedspread's the most startling thing in the whole room. A book of puzzles. Maybe it has some word searches in it. I love word searches. A collection of the Bay City Mirror's daily anagram puzzles. If I ever really get stuck on an anagram, at least I've got a connection at the newspaper. Nice fireplace. All I need now is a stack of wood and Jane Mansfield. Looks like the closet door. It's all locked up. A solid maple roll-top desk. I'd kill for a desk like this. Well, maybe I just maim somebody. Cosmic Connection magazine. I seem to remember Fitzpatrick saying something about this. I remember Fitzpatrick telling me about the Cosmic Connection magazine. Looks like a sci-fi rag to me. Looks like a business card. These drawers look... These drawers... A solid maple roll-top...
These drawers look... It's an envelope addressed to someone named Elijah Witt. A disc. I'll bet whatever's on here will get me a lead. I can run it on the computer back at the office. These drawers. These drawers. This pair of jeans wasn't here before. I guess Malloy must have come back and then left again. Well, that's a handsome antique chair. This warehouse address is 54 Front Street. That's in the waterfront area. Dr. Thomas Malloy, I presume.
You're NSA, aren't you?
No, sir, I'm not NSA. My name's Tex Murphy, and I'm a private investigator. I was hired by a friend of yours.
I don't have any friends, Mr. Murphy.
Well, what about Gordon Fitzpatrick?
Fitz. Good old Fitz. I wonder why he sent you after me.
Are you all right?
Give me some water, will you? Thanks. I've led an excessive life, and I'm afraid the bill is coming due. Now listen, Murphy. What I'm going to tell you could help Fitzpatrick continue my work. The only catch is I'll put you in the same danger I'm in.
Don't let that stop you. Danger's a little like Jell-O. Always room for a little more.
Ever hear of Project Blue Book?
Sounds familiar.
Have you ever heard of Roswell?
Yeah. About 100 years ago, there was an apparent UFO crash, and the government came out and said it was just a weather balloon.
A weather balloon? It was no damn weather balloon. It was a spacecraft. The Roswell incident was the greatest disinformation campaign of all time.
So what was the connection between Roswell and Project Blue Book?
Well, Roswell is where Project Blue Book became Project Blueprint. Now, you've probably never heard about it, seeing as how you're still alive.
Why do I have the feeling you're about to lower my odds in that department? Do you mind?
In 1947, an alien spacecraft crashed in the desert outside Roswell, New Mexico. The wreckage was taken to the Air Force Base nearby for testing. And of course, they were looking for weapons.
Sounds like the military hasn't changed too much. If you don't mind me asking, Doctor, how do you fit into all of this?
In 1984, I came on board Project Blueprint. My job was to carry on the work of deciphering the hieroglyphics found in the spacecraft. Anyway, in early 1996, word of a breakthrough spread throughout the complex. Now, apparently someone had discovered that one of the alien instruments could generate minute quantities of anti-hydrogen. The big boys in Washington were ecstatic. Now, if you remember, the desert standoff was in effect, and we were looking for a technological edge over the Middle East bloc. Now, we had it in the palm of our hands. But unfortunately, as you know, things went very wrong.
That's the understatement of the century.
Well, the military was in such a hurry, they didn't take time to do any testing. Instead, they started a political incident, then proceeded to bomb the hell out of the Middle East.
Greatest snafu in history.
Now, after the war, I left the military, but I managed to smuggle out all my notes and other important items from Roswell. And I secretly continued my research.
Okay, Malloy, don't move! I said freeze! Don't be stupid. Put it down! Look, I'm supposed to bring you back alive, not in a body bag. Think so. No! Back off! Back off! My orders were to bring in Malloy alive. But I guess that doesn't apply to you, does it?
Oh, in that case. You mind? I'd found Malloy just in time to watch him take a bullet. I wasn't sure whether that qualified as solving the case or not. Either way, I had to tell Fitzpatrick the bad news. He comes by my office, and I fill him in on what's happened. Second agent opened fired.
No!
Killed him. I barely got out of it alive. So for the next few minutes, I relate the events that led up to finding Malloy. But it's clear that his death is only part of the reason for Fitzpatrick's reaction. He's been withholding information from me since the beginning. Now it's time to find out what he knows about Malloy's work.
An unfortunate turn of events. Extremely unfortunate. Well, I guess this brings our partnership to an end. What do I owe you?
I think you owe me some details.
To what do you refer?
Look, Malloy was onto something big. He was just about to tell me until someone turned him into a corkboard. I want to know what happened. But most of all, I want to know what's going on here.
No, don't get into it. Forget this business. Take the money and walk away.
It's too late. I'm already involved. Now 1, possibly 3 NSA agents are dead. And for some strange reason, they're going to think that I'm involved with all this. And even if I wanted to drop out right now, the odds are they're going to find me and fill me with so much lead, they're going to be able to use me as a pencil. But aside from that, Malloy was onto something big. And those boxes are the key.
You know about the boxes?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that puts a different light on things, doesn't it? If you insist on staying with this, becoming involved, as you say, I've got to be able to be sure that I can rely on you, trust you. You know, this isn't the kind of thing that you can sort of dabble in and then back away.
Well, normally I do have a little problem with commitment. But on this, I'm in 100%.
All right. Thomas Malloy and I, scientific researchers, were working together in Roswell. And we became friends. Our friendship really developed when we were transferred to China after the great disaster of World War III. After some time, Malloy took me into his confidence and showed me what he'd been secretly working on, translating ancient alien hieroglyphics, taken from the crash of that Roswell spacecraft.
So you know what it is he was going to tell me?
No, I don't think so. Not really. I knew that he'd been, deciphering these ancient hieroglyphics. Some of the symbols that were found there, the dominating symbol seemed to be, or the dominating information seemed to be, that there was a second spacecraft approaching the Earth. And there was a continuing, recurring symbol of a black sun. Mysterious. He didn't get that at all. That really bugged him.
Well, this is all really interesting. But it's not the kind of information somebody kills for.
Tex, screw your head on straight! I'm ready to believe there is a second spacecraft down somewhere on this planet Earth unfound. Now, imagine that spacecraft filled with a technology that none of us have ever dreamed of. Imagine what someone would do to obtain that technology. Imagine what the government would do. Wouldn't it be worth killing for?
You've got one of the boxes, don't you?
I do. Receiving it led me to believe that my friend's life was in danger.
Well, then you probably know more about the boxes than I do.
Variations on a Chinese puzzle box. Tom had maybe 4, 5, or 6 of them made to his specifications while he was in China. Just some kind of a novelty, I think.
Do you know how to open them?
No. Never occurred to me to ask. Now, what do you know about the boxes?
Well, I had one. Then the NSA picked me up. They gave me a choice between giving them the box or having my brains blown out.
Recovering that box has got to be our first priority. Otherwise, I doubt we can continue.
That's not going to be easy. I'll see what I can do. Just one more thing. You talked a lot about trusting me. Why should I trust you?
Mr. Murphy, I have more money and other vanities than I could possibly ever use. My purpose in being here, at the center, if there is a center to all this, is to follow the trail towards which my old friend pointed me. I don't know where it will lead, but I intend to reach that end.
I guess we're in business. There's something about Fitzpatrick that makes me trust him totally, though I have been wrong in that area before. He knows about the boxes, same as Regan does, but their motivations seem to be worlds apart. I figure my best strategy is to stay right here on the middle ground. The fact of the matter is, I want to know what Malloy was going to tell me. That's my motivation. And the first step from here is to recover the box I handed over to the NSA.
You have a fax. You have a fax.
The 60-day warning. Well, I'll be darned. The fax machine still works. Well, it looks like my suspicions were correct. Now I'll just have to find out why Horton was posing as the Black Arrow killer.
My new vid phone is a